Okay, so I just got done watching The Ruins, and this is a movie that I was probably the most looking forward to when creating my 61 movies of Halloween review list. This was the movie I was probably the most looking forward to because this is a movie that I haven't seen for quite a number of years. It's been at least 2 years since I've last seen this movie, and I still remember quite a lot about this movie because this is a very intense and gripping film for many reasons, which I will speak about in this review. So yeah, getting right into my review of The Ruins, the first thing I want to talk about is the characters. This is a mixed element for me because while I feel like the characters are very undeveloped, like you don't learn a whole lot about them in the first 15 minutes of this movie when they're hanging by the pool, and then the new guy joins them. Well, the new guy finds that chick's earring in the pool, and then he gets brought along on this trip as well. Um, yeah, there's not a whole lot of information. There's not a whole lot of character development given, given in that time period, um, which I wasn't too bothered by because there is a lot of space in this movie because this is a one location movie, and that I will talk about in a minute. But just sticking on the characters, there's plenty of time to develop on them. While this movie does provide new information to the viewer about certain character relationships and certain affairs that are going on throughout this movie, and I thought that whole subplot added to the tension of this situation because first of all they're trapped on this temple with this what is it like with this group or with this tribe surrounding them, and like if they try to leave, like they will get shot. Like these this group are not fucking around. Like they will shoot at you. They will shoot arrows. They will make the most agonizing death, and there's like the so that there's a lot of tension throughout this movie. For one, I feel like no one knows they're here. Like no one knows they're at this temple, so they can yell as loud as they want. Nobody will hear them. Nobody will come to rescue them. And just to me, that is like the worst possible scenario. And then second of all, they have flesh-eating plants, which if these plants get on your skin, like they will literally eat you alive. And I thought that was terrifying. And then third, these plants. This is probably one of the things I really like. Like this movie, like as soon as you probably hear the word plants, you're probably thinking, oh, this movie is just another The Happening, right? No, it's not. This is a very dark and serious film. Like this is a film that treats itself very seriously in its performances, in its script, in its story, um, and another thing that I liked about the plants in this movie that I thought was a really cool addition to to this story. I thought it added for some of the most interesting sequences and for some of the most tension filled scenes in this movie is the plants can mimic sounds. So the one I most remember is the cell phone, and like from a distance, it sounds so much like a cell phone ringtone. But when you get closer, and the characters discover that it's actually the plants that are making those sounds and that can actually mimic all this, like it does sound a bit unrealistic, but from a distance you would think that it's an actual cell phone, and I just thought that really added to the tension of this situation. Um, and yeah, it's like, and I thought the environment, like the actual location scouting and where they decided to shoot this movie in the middle of nowhere. Actually, which speaking of that, it's I like these characters these characters are in their 20s, um, which going out in the middle of nowhere without telling anyone, isn't that a red flag 101 right there? always tell someone where you're going. Like I get that they aren't there with with their parents, or they aren't there to see family, and so like nobody knows where they are. But like, one of the examples that they bring up is the hotel, which I believe, the second day of them being on this, this flesh eating temple, if you want to call it that. I believe, um, that the second day was their flight home. So, and I also understand that the hotel wouldn't be able to get in reach with them, since they're in an area that has no cell phone service. So so that they're kind of fucked as far as safety goes. But yeah, I just thought this movie was really tension filled in all layers. Yeah, I was really gripping onto my chair, because this is a really this is a really intense movie, and throughout the movie, these characters, that they start to go insane, and just that phase of them kind of starting off kind of normal, and them being unsure, to them kind of snapping and just absolutely losing it. I thought that was a great storytelling approach for this story, because it kept a very realistic approach to how human beings like these characters would act in a situation like this. And another thing I've got to give credit for is the blood and gore. My God, the blood and gore in this movie is amazing. It looks so damn realistic. It's insane how good the blood and gore. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where this guy's legs, all of his skin is completely gone, and all you see is the flesh, and then this guy has to slam a rock on his legs. Easily one of the most intense and disturbing sequences in this entire movie. But I thought all throughout this movie, I thought all of the makeup and the prosthetics and the blood and gore looked absolutely amazing. I think this is probably some of the most realistic gore in this in this subgenre of of survival horror, but also body horror as well. Because yeah, it looked so realistic, and that was some of the scenes that I was probably I was gripping my seat the most watching this movie. And this movie sets up for a great sequel as well, might add. This is a sequel I would like to see, because she could easily maybe go to a hospital and then tell them that there's this temple in in the middle of the forest, and you have to go burn it down now, or you have to you have to go quarantine it until you figure out exactly what this is. But yeah, I still think this movie leaves a lot of unanswered questions, which a lot of people might not like that, but for myself, I really liked how this movie kind of left some questions open for prediction. You don't really know what these plants are, why they are flesh-eating plants, how they have in a way that have a mind of their own, how they can mimic sounds. You have no idea why that's happening, and that as much as that's a question I would like to be revealed and I would like to know, just it adds to the suspense of this movie. And I really dug this movie. This is, I think, a really underrated film that I don't hear talked about enough in the horror community. I rarely see this movie being mentioned. I think this movie deserves so much more credit than it deserves, and it should have much more recognition, because this is a really damn good body horror film that I really recommend all of you to check out if you have not seen it. Rent it, buy it, just watch The Ruins. This is a great movie for the October season. But yeah, I really enjoyed The Ruins. So anyways, guys, yeah, if you have seen The Ruins, let me know down in the comment section down below. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you think it was mad? Or did you really not like it? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.